What is up, guys? I am Brett Varg, and I'm here to bring you the third episode of my Pro Tips video series. First off, I'm going to say that the video started late, the recording in the background, because I forgot to hit record, because I fuck up a lot. So, besides that, I want to talk about my 3 topics, maybe 2 if we run out of time, because I'm kind of going to be, these topics are going to be kind of huge. I want to talk about right shoulder advantage, and then Nasher, and then I'll mention the third topic if we get to it. I don't feel like mentioning it now because if I don't get to it, I don't have to try to like find the exact audio wave where I do mention it and edit it down because I don't speak that clear and I edit all this, so it takes me a good hour and a half to make, you know, one 10-minute video. But I do it for my fans and do it for all you people who are trying to learn and don't want to hear me sound like shit. So this is all for you guys. First off, we're gonna talk about right shoulder advantage. Gears of War is a third-person shooter that most of you probably know that, if not all. I'm just gonna say that. You look over the right shoulder of your character and you do everything from that view. So essentially what right shoulder advantage is anytime you want to go behind cover, you want to keep right shoulder advantage to you. Let's say you have a wall and you can look over the right side or the left side of it. You always want to look over the right corner of it because instead of going against it, you can just stand there normally and just you can see everything. You can see anyone running at you and everything. Like right here, if you look when I'm behind the gear in the video, you'll notice that I'm standing behind it in such a way that I'm not going against it because that is actually less visible than when you do go against cover, because when you go against cover, people can see your gun and your character. When you just stand against it, then your guy, for one, buries his gun on the wall, so it's harder to see, and 2, you can see more anyway, or at least the same amount, if not more, which is always good to think about. This is a technique that a lot of people don't think about, and you know, but it's something that you want to try to always maintain if you can. Always keep right shoulder advantage in the back of your mind of I want to be in this situation because it's always better. In my first episode, I talked about running away. I didn't mention right shoulder advantage because I wanted to bring it up later, but you should run away if you cannot maintain right shoulder advantage for a majority of things, because right shoulder advantage is huge in the Gears multiplayer. I use it all the time. There's really no counter to it. There's no left shoulder advantage, so you have to go against cover on your left side, and that's very upsetting, but that's how the game works. So you always want to maintain right shoulder advantage whenever possible, and you are going to try to do whatever you can to do that. So if that involves running away and taking a new tactic and getting somewhere where you gain right shoulder advantage, that's what you should do, because it'll increase your amount of Nasher kills, and this game's all about the Nasher kills. That's all it's about. So you have to focus on that. I really can't stress it enough. I really don't think people look at right shoulder advantage, and I think people underestimate the power of it, and you know, you really shouldn't. Like, it really is something that you don't pick up on unless you're new, unless you're a veteran to Gears, not new. Maybe new players do. So you want to focus on it now. I don't know if I can demonstrate it anyway. If you guys would like, I could try to make a tutorial video for that. I have an idea of what I'm going to do with it if I do one. I might just do it to record it and then not put it up, but if you guys want to see that, comment below so I can do that and know what you guys want to see, and it'll be very informal because I can't edit the commentary that I'm going to perform, but I can edit the video, so it's gonna be less articulated and less thought out, even though it's not very thought out anyway, and just not scripted at all. So I'm trying to go off, you know, memory and all the things that I have to say. But I think that's a pretty good time to switch over my next topic, because this video is actually a little bit shorter, the gameplay wise, because I do actually fairly well. I can spoil it because there's really nothing. You know, I'm not gonna spoil it. You guys can watch it if you want to watch it. Really, just there for background noise. The next thing I want to cover is the Nasher. Now, I haven't covered this yet, but the Nasher makes up, I think, 90% of my kills, or like it's really like 88% come from Nasher kills. Out of the 3 primary weapons, out of Hammerburst, Lancer, and all that, or what, I don't know how really it works, but Nasher kills make up 95% of all kills in this game because it's amazing. So the Nasher is weird because in every Gears game it changes where it looks, so this guide won't apply if you're playing Ultimate Edition, unlike a lot of these other guides will apply to Ultimate Edition also, which is Gears 1 Remastered. The Nasher shoots out a different spot every time. At the first Gears, it was over your right shoulder, so you would aim with your shoulder blade because that's the thing you do. Now it actually comes out of the gun. Now, what do I mean by that? If you ever shoot random, like if you ever like shoot against a wall on blind fire, which a lot of your Nasher kills are going to be once you go up higher in ranks, you'll notice that the spread goes out like to the right more, and because it follows the barrel of the gun. Like if you drew a line down your Nasher when just standing there, it goes to that general area, and it's fairly accurate. So you have to think about that. Like, where is my Nasher pointing? You can do the old 007 GoldenEye dot on the screen trick, that doesn't matter. You know, it really, you just want to, because by the time you're playing, you're not going to notice this dot, but you can sit there and notice that where the Natura is pointing while you're hip firing. That's what you want to focus on. Now, the Natura has what I call the 3 firing modes, even though it's only all lever action. Yeah, the no scope, the quick scope, and the hard scope, which I'm just going to use the Call of Duty terms for the lack of better terms. But if you notice, it depends on the situation. If you're up close and personal, you're probably going to stick to only no scopes. And that's because you are trying to win and you stay more mobile when you're using no scopes versus aiming. If they put any kind of distance between them, then you will start aiming more. If they're still fairly close and you have time, go for a quick scope. Zoom in real quick and pull the trigger. It's a lot more accurate and it'll do more damage. However, you are sacrificing mobility. And if they're even further out, go for a hard scope. Or if you have time where you have right shoulder advantage and they don't see you and you see them running up, go for the hard scope because you are going to deal more damage that way and you're going to have a better chance to body them and reduce the bullshit from the Natura shooting condom wrappers confetti. It really is a weird thing. The Natura is a very unique weapon that it is inconsistent, so we have to deal with that in our gameplay of how can I make this gun more consistent, and that's the trick behind it, is you're trying to use the Natura and give it the best situation. However, every situation you do give does hinder it in some way. No scoping is greater mobility, lower accuracy. However, hard scoping is lower mobility, greater accuracy, which gives more kills. So it all depends on the situations. You have to get the feel of what you're comfortable with. No scoping, if you're not good at it, you gotta learn. I'm not gonna be able to tell you there's like some trick to it. There's some way to get past it, or if you're not good at it, no, you're gonna have to learn to play, and that's upsetting. You know, I can't give a tip for that, but that's how it is. I can't change everything that's going on. I can give you the general tips, and you guys have to try and incorporate them with practice. You know, play social, play social, play social. I think it's a great spot for people to learn. People complain that it fucking bitching. People are complaining that you can't play social with more than 2 people. Fuck that. It's a great place to learn, and that's why I like it and where it sits. It's good for the players who don't know, and it lets them stay and keeps them around, which we want because, again, we don't want the community to die like BC has. I guess the last thing I want to talk about is spotting, and I'm just going to make a quick comment on it, is if you don't know, because this is new to Gears 3, so if you haven't played Gears 3, but it was in Gears Ultimate Edition and Gears of War 4 has it, if you are aiming down the sights, like holding LT, whatever your sight button is, if you're using lefty, and you click in the right stick, if you click in one of the sticks, I can't remember currently, you will create a little beacon above the player. Now this tells everyone where that player is located, and not only that, but if you use your TACCOM, you can see this player through the walls like a teammate. However, he's red, so it's very noticeable. This means that when there's one guy left and there's 3 people, it's like it's a 1v3 situation, spot the damn asshole who's alive, because that allows us to run around and not worry about him being behind a wall with right shoulder advantage and blowing our brains out and manage a clutch. This reduces the amount of clutches and it allows you to focus on just what you need to focus on. I want everyone to understand that. This video is coming to an end shortly. I really can't tell because it's all going to be edited out. However, I just want you guys to keep that in mind. So here's a brief summary of what we talked about. We talked about right shoulder advantage, right shoulder advantage, right shoulder advantage. If you don't have it, get it. Next thing, Natura. Follow the line down your gun. That's where your bullets are going to go. Remember your quick scope and your no scope. Don't worry about anything else. Judge what you find comfortable and learn how to use it. And last thing, spotting. Just spot. It's a button. It doesn't change anything else. It's very simple to do. Let's do it more, guys, okay? Thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment below if you like the series, if it sucked, if you hate me, you want to see me eat a ghost chili, leave a comment below. I read all those comments and try to answer to all of them. I want to plug a few things. Please subscribe, like the video, give it a big old thumbs up, and also if you want to go to hear me in my funniness, not a word? I don't think so. If you want to hear me be funny with another guy, you can listen to our podcast. I'm going to leave a link below to a trailer. I'd appreciate if you guys check that out and give us feedback on that. It's just going to be a trailer for minute 30, and it's like a 2-hour podcast. We try to produce as fast as we can. However, it is not always there. So thank you guys for watching.